and as always, thank you for watching us here at Palos Heights Community Channel 4. My name is Carol Steffen, on camera with Judy Weber. We've been invited into one of my very favorite restaurants, and that's the truth. Come here very often.
Thank you.
We're invited into Jullianni's, and I'm here with the owner, Bill Mallers. We've been talking back and forth. We used to come in here very, very often. It's kind of, he just looks so popular every time I go by with a parking lot full of cars, and I'm thinking he really doesn't need to be talked about on Channel 4. But I think it's time. I think it's time to find out what's going on with Bill and what's going on with Jullianni's. I have in front of me a pile of literature that is out among the community. You publicize so beautifully. Of course, you have so much to publicize. Tell me about tell me about yourself, and tell me about your store.
Oh, about myself.
Well,
we've been
cut that short. No, I'm kidding.
Well, my family and I have been in the restaurant business for many, many, many years, since I was a young child. You know, my dad and his brother were always in this business. I don't know if it was planned that way or if it was by accident, but they got into this business. They came from Europe after the war. They immigrated here to this country, and they came from very, very humble backgrounds, a very poor area. And so I guess when you flee a land where it was nothing but heartaches and war and famine and things like that, you always want to do something good for your family. And that's what they did. They chose, well, in the beginning they did work in factories, and they said there's got to be something better for them to make more money, I guess, to provide for their families. And they became self-employed, and they worked in restaurants. The only thing they knew how to do was probably wash dishes at the time. And that's how they started. They washed dishes. And the owners of these little diners, as they were back then, saw how hard they worked as other immigrants worked, and they said, well, let me teach you how to do this. Let me teach you how to cut tomatoes, or let's teach you how to do the prep work in the kitchen. And that's how it began. Slowly, slowly it evolved for them, that they became prep cooks, and then they became line cooks, and then they became actual, you know, chefs in their kitchens. And they took that knowledge and they opened up their own businesses for themselves. Again, it was always nothing selfish about it. It was just the way that things like this evolve, especially, like I said, from people who were hungry to make a better life for themselves. And they knew by coming to this country that this was the only place in the world that this could happen. Europe was destroyed. America was the only place that offered the freedom and
the
opportunities to create something for yourself. And that's what they did.
Absolutely.
And they've been in the business, and I was, being the elder son, I was always obligated, you know, to work and help my dad and my uncle. There was no, back then, there was no lovey-dovey like, oh son, I love you today. I want you to sleep in. No, there was nothing like that. It didn't work like that at all. It was, come on, get up, we're late. There was, it's not the same as it is today. How we have our kids, we treat our kids a little bit differently than.
Yes, we do. You know. Now let's talk about how long ago did you open up at this location?
Well, this location, as you know, used to be the Giordano's franchise. And it was my uncle's. He opened this up in 1988. He was the franchisee on 143rd and LaGrange.
Okay.
So he looked to expand. He opened up this area, and he decided to sell it to my brother. My brother purchased it a year later as a Giordano's.
Okay.
And I came in a few years after that. And that's how we began. And in 2001, we left Giordano's, the franchise, and we became independent. And we've been known as Jullianni since then.
Now tell me about, has your menu grown? What did you start off with? What was your advertising containing with, as far as food was concerned then?
It's pretty much the same thing.
Okay.
It's, the difference is how we make it.
Okay.
The menu, we're a pizzeria, pasta, salad, sandwich restaurant. There's nothing difficult about this.
But you're so much more.
Our special sauces, you know, things like that.
Right.
Our pastas now are not made with frozen chickens or pre-cooked pastas or how we used to purchase them from the commissary from our franchisee agreements. These are made-to-order dishes that take a little bit of time to make, but you could always tell the difference. These are fresh, marinated chickens. The shrimp is fresh. The calamari, we cut calamari here. We get them in big, giant frozen containers. That's the difference between a franchisee restaurant operation and a self-employed operation that really cares about their menus, things like
your
that.
pizza is outstanding.
Thank you.
And everyone I know has different tastes in pizza. Everybody has their favorite.
Sure,
place
of course.
They go to. Yours happen to be ours. But to get a pizza and a salad, your salad dressing is outstanding. I mean,
We make those here.
I know you do. Well,
Yeah.
tell us what else you do. You don't have to come to the restaurant, although it's a pleasure and there's plenty of parking. Is that you can come, you cater. Tell me what else you do, the services you offer.
One of the services that we provided after we left Giordano's was catering. Giordano's was not much of a catering business back then. And catering back then was left to a few specialty restaurants that just did catering. Now everyone does catering. So we added that in, and that became about 10% of our business to this day. With a full line of chickens and beef and sausages and salads and pastas, sandwiches, whatever you like. It's a full line catering menu.
It is, and you deliver. Do you full delivery?
And we deliver, yes,
Okay.
yes, we deliver.
Give me your hours, Bill.
We're open from Monday through Thursday from 11 to 9, Friday from 11 to 10, Saturday from 11 to 10, and Sunday from 12 to 9.
Okay. You obviously are doing something right as a business owner, because when we come in, we have the same waitresses that we've had way back when. So tell me about your staff. What did you do so well?
I threaten them to stay.
Okay. You're doing something right because they're here and they're delightful.
The one aspect of this business here right now that I always talk about is how fortunate I am to have the people that I have working here for me. They are considerate, not only to me, but to their customers. They are, I don't know how to explain this to you. They understand hospitality. They understand how to make a customer feel at home.
The moment you walk in.
They understand what it takes to create a relationship between a customer and a server. And I always tell them, because I don't micromanage them at all, but we do have our regular meetings and we do discuss things and problems and things like this, normal day-to-day business issues that we have. I always tell them, you treat this table like it's your family. And always remember that if you don't like something that you're serving for yourself, if you don't like something that you're serving, don't serve it. Bring it back. If it's not something that you would eat, then don't do it. We can always make something else. You explain to the customer the problem, and 99% of the time they're going to be more than understanding. It's when you don't tell your customers that there's a problem, that's when you create bad vibrations.
Well, you did, and the people aren't coming back.
They're not going to come back, no.
Okay.
There's so many places out there right now.
And you're open to parties. And many times we'll come in and you have huge birthday parties going on.
Yes.
Are you open? Do you ever close this place totally? Or
No,
okay.
no. We're open 7 days a week.
Okay.
I don't have any private function facilities.
Okay.
Should I have done it a long time ago? Yes, I should have done it a long time ago, because our parties are growing,
Yes,
growing and growing and growing. Birthday parties. We used to do a lot of parties on Friday night, and we've stopped it now on Fridays, and we take reservations from Saturday and Sunday between 12 and 4.
Okay.
Why did we stop that on Friday? Because Friday is so busy with regular customers that we found that if we do 30 people parties in the back, there's no room for everybody. And people see a full parking lot and they just leave. And they'll go somewhere else. So the parties now are done, we push them that way. We push them towards the Saturday and Sunday segment, those hours that we have between 12 and 4. And the parties now are different than what we used to do. Before, we always did wedding rehearsals. That was the big thing for pizzerias. You know, wedding rehearsals was the #1 party. Now it's baby showers, bridal showers, christenings, graduation parties, things like that. And we do them all in the back room over here. Again, it's not a private room, but we do the best we can with the room that we have.
Do you still have the Balloon Man?
Roger Siegel. He is, I can't say enough about this man. You know, he's in his 80s right now. He's been here for 25 years.
Is it Friday night?
Friday and Saturday.
Friday and Saturday. Okay.
Yeah. And he will not miss a day of work. And even though he's slowed down a little bit, you know, he will not miss a day of work. And he'll come in and he'll entertain the customers. And that's what he does. And the kids, and I always say this, you know, we've entertained families here since the time they were kids. Now the kids have their own families and they're bringing in their kids. So that's what I like to see, and that's when I know things are good. You know, we've done a good job, we're doing a good job.
Of course, it's a fine reflection on you.
Sure. Do we make mistakes? Of course we do. Do we have errors that happen? Of course we do. There's not one place where everything is running perfect. There's so many variables that can go wrong in a restaurant environment. Sometimes it's just uncontrollable. You can't control everything.
Of course.
People are having a bad day, they show it. Someone doesn't show up for work, it shows.
Okay.
Things like that. It always happens. Yeah. But we try to accommodate as best we can.
But complimenting your nice restaurant part, you have this really full service bar over here with the high tables, the television set. So I've noticed a lot of kids, maybe on Friday night when we come, young adults and 20s and millennials, I'll use the term, come in and look very comfortable here. And you serve food.
We serve food at the bar, yes. We didn't have a bar when we were Giordano's, and that was one of the issues that I had after we left the company. We don't have a bar. You know, every restaurant in the area has a bar except for us. We had a little service bar, and it didn't do anything for us. In 2008, when the economy went south, I was driving around the area. Why is this guy busy? Why is that guy slow? Why is this guy busy? So I came to the conclusion that, you know, we have the food, we have the service, we have a lot of positive things, but we did not have a nice looking restaurant. It was the old Giordano's plan that we had, and we hadn't left from that. And at that particular time, my brother and I were broke. We didn't have not too much money to do the things that we really wanted to do in the restaurant. We ran into some contractors that gave us a good deal on this, and we went to the bank at Payless Bank and Trust, and there was a gentleman by the name of Bill Paytow, and I always say this to everybody, he saved my life. He saved our business because they gave us the money. And in 2009, a week before Thanksgiving, we opened up what you see here now. And it's been an upward movement ever since then. We haven't seen a downward slope since.
What a nice compliment, and thanks to him.
Thanks to him, and thanks to that bar.
Anyway, let me wrap up. It's been always a treasure and a pleasure to talk with Bill, but let me tell you more particulars. We're located at Jullianni's Pizza and Pub. It's located at 7239 West College Drive. The number is 708-361-4222. They have a good website. They have a fax number. As I say, catering menu and local pizza delivery, full bar, dine-in, carry-out. What more could I possibly ask of you to offer?
That's enough.
That's it.
That's enough.
It. Well, thank you. Please hang on for another, 31 years?
I don't know if I could do 31 more years. I don't know.
Okay. We'll give it a shot.
We'll give it a shot.
Okay. Thank you for talking with us here
My
on
pleasure.
Channel 4.
My pleasure.
Of course, thank you for watching us here at Payless Heights Community Channel 4.